Yeah, I think your story is like really interesting because you've been to so many countries. But was there any other aspect that allowed you to really quickly adapt to each, or not each environment, but as overall, I would say.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic question. I think the biggest thing around adaptation is when you know that you're going to move, it's trying to build a community very quickly. So I
Yeah,
honestly finding the overseas Pakistanis who are there,
right.
finding other expats who are there, understanding where am I going to live, what will the car or the transport situation look like, do I have the bank account set up, and essentially building a little bit of a checklist. I think the other thing is just being really open-minded. I think in the first couple of moves there was very like, oh, I'm not sure how this is going to end up, but then it's really treating it like an adventure and a privilege, frankly, to be welcomed into a country where you're not from, and to embrace that culture and going with a real open mind to say, hey, I want to learn about Malay food, and I'm a big fan of Malay food now. I want to learn about the Korean heritage. I'd love to attend a Korean wedding, for example, or of course in Saudi, just appreciating the customs as well. I think that open minded mentality, again, I give an immense amount of credit to my family for encouraging that. I always say finding the right balance between being strong from a heritage at heart standpoint, but certainly being open minded is very important. And then putting yourself out there and being vulnerable to say, hey, I actually don't know where I'm going to get my groceries in a new city in Saudi Arabia, and I'd love to find somebody who can help me. And more often than not, when you're authentic and vulnerable, folks tend to be very kind and helpful as well. And so, my conclusion across the world is there's certainly more good, helpful people than not.